Hey everybody, here we go. Here's our first sports medicine distance learning lesson on terminology. So, first time for you guys, or maybe you've had some stuff like this in your other classes. I don't know, it's the first time for me, so we'll just see how it goes. So, I like to go through these, give examples. I don't know, usually I rely a lot of the in class teaching, but I'm gonna try to get as much of that on here as I can. So here we go. So the first thing we're going to talk about is terminology, describing positions, relationship, and how they compare to each other. So communication is everything. I don't know if you guys have ever been to a doctor before and they're talking to you and you're like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So they're not really saying anything crazy or complicated. It's just using different terminology, and that terminology allows people to be more specific, in describing position, relation, and orientation of different body parts. Um, so we're going to go through, this is going to be basic. We're going to learn the different terms, and go from there. All right, so we'll see how it goes. From this point on, you're only supposed to use correct medical terminology, right? When I do see you, hopefully that'll be sooner than later. You can't come and tell me something like, yeah, I hurt the top of my foot, right? It'll be, yeah, I hurt the dorsal aspect of my pes, or something like that. So correct medical terminology. And then there's one thing I want to make sure to remind you. Usually I do this in person, but we'll have to do it like this. So there's only certain ways that you could use this terminology. Okay, there's two ways. The first way is using to. So when you use to, while using these terms, you are comparing locations. So here is an example, two examples. Your shoulder is superior to your elbow. It's not on your elbow, it's past it, it's above it or below it, okay? To, aspect of. So when you use aspect of, you're describing where on that body part you were talking about. So aspect of means it's on it. Your shoulder is on the superior aspect of your arm. So it's in your shoulder, and then it's aspect of. So it's on the aspect of your arm, so it's still on it. Your pinky is on the medial aspect of your hand, so it's on it. On it, to it. Okay, so on a structure and off it. And we'll review that as we go. Okay, so we have to start here. Okay, so we have to start here at the anatomical position. So there's one position that all anatomical structures are described, and that's the anatomical position, right, that you see here. The anatomical position description: body is erect, so you're standing upright, limbs are at their side, palms face forward, and lower limbs are straight and together, right? So this is the anatomical position. You can see the palms facing forward, right? That's important. This one position is important, right? All terms are described from here. If it changed, then people wouldn't be on the same page, right? People would be confused, right? If we'll get to it. We'll get to it. All right. So now we're going to talk about each term, define it, and then give some examples. Hope everybody's doing okay and following along all right. Make sure email me if you're watching this and you want to give me some feedback. Tell me if I'm talking too loud, if I'm mumbling too much, or I'm talking too fast. Whatever. Just let me know. All right. All right, so the first two terms that we're going to talk about are dorsal and ventral. So dorsal, from the Latin word dorsum, means back. So dorsal pertains to the back surface of the body. All right, and we'll get to this exception here in a minute. And then ventral, venter for belly, pertains to the belly surface of the body, or the front of the body. So dorsal, back, ventral, front. Okay. So these two terms, they're definitely used today in medicine. They're used in veterinarian medicine, with animals. But I want you to know these are kind of older terms. But I still want you to know them. And now when it comes to the exception, so exception is when we're talking about the dorsal, sorry, the exception is when we're talking about the foot, okay? So the top of the foot is the dorsal. The bottom of the foot is the plantar. So top of the foot dorsal, bottom of the foot equals plantar, okay? Like plantar, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of plantar fasciitis. So plantar fasciitis is inflammation of the fascia on the bottom of your foot. Just a side note, anything with itis at the end means inflamed. So anything bursitis, tendonitis, that itis means inflamed, okay? So dorsal, like you've heard of the dorsal fin, it's on the back. Ventral, I don't know if you heard that before, but there we go. So just an example. So here is dorsal. This is a view of the dorsal aspect of the body. This is a view of the ventral aspect of the body, right? Front and back, right? Here's the dorsal aspect of the hand. There's the dorsal aspect of the shoulder. There's the dorsal aspect of the head, and so on, there. Okay, so I hope we're getting that, right? These next two are the exact same as dorsal and ventral, just different words. So posterior is back, anterior is front. Okay, posterior, back, anterior, front. Did I give you any examples here? Yep, anterior, front of the body, back of the body. Not too hard there, right? Hope we got that one. Next is superior and inferior. Okay, so superior, term meaning above, inferior, term meaning below. Okay, now as we start to learn more terms, we can start to build them together, okay? So superior above, inferior below, okay? So, and there's two ways to use this, right? That you could use it to or aspect of. Okay, so let's do a couple twos, okay? So, for example, so superior means above, right? So your shoulder is superior to your elbow because it's above it, right? Shoulder superior to elbow, right? So your shoulder is superior to your elbow because it's past it, okay? Let's see what else we can do. Let's say your elbow is superior to your wrist, right? Because it's above it, right? Makes sense? And vice versa, right? So your wrist, you could say, is inferior to your elbow, right? Because it's below it. You could even go like on your face, right? So, and this guy's kind of creepy, I know. So your nose is superior to your mouth, okay? Because it's above it. All right, so that's two, right? Because it's comparing relationship to the structure, like past it. Aspect of is when we're talking about on it, okay? So this, so your shoulder is on the superior aspect of your entire upper extremity, okay? So if there's your whole upper extremity, okay, your shoulder is on the superior part of it, superior aspect of extremity. Okay. So there's an example for aspect of, superior aspect of. So your shoulders on the superior aspect of your extremity of your arm. Let's say right here. So if we're looking at the knee, okay, So this X, if you were to place X right there, that's on the superior aspect of the knee, right? Because it's on the superior aspect of it. You could say your hand is on the inferior aspect of your...
We are leaving. What are you doing?
I'm making notes for my class right now. It's recording my voice right now.
Can I please help you?
Yeah, can you circle the shoulder? Oh, you can't. Your wrist can't be on it. There you go, like that, right? So this is my sports medicine class, and this is Dino and Enzo. Can you guys say hi?
Hi. Hi.
Okay. All right, guys. I gotta record this.
Come on.
Love you.
Daddy, can I please try?
Okay, yeah, real quick.
But I didn't get to circle the shoulder.
Okay, how about can you circle the knee for me? Okay. Little boy. Good job. Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
See ya.
We're gonna take a little drive.
Okay. All right. Sorry. Yeah, so Dino and Enzo, so they're home with me right now, obviously. All right, so superior and inferior, I hope we got those two. Superior above, inferior below. All right. Now, we'll move on to the next one. So we have medial and lateral. So medial is a term pertaining to the midline of the body, and lateral is a term towards the sides. All right. All right, here we go. So the midline of the body, right, is right there. So anything medial is going to be closer to the midline of the body, whereas the sides of the body are here. Okay. So this is midline. These are sides. Okay. So if we wanted to talk about the medial aspect of the arm, so the medial aspect of your arm would be here. Okay, where the lateral aspect of your arm would be here. Okay, and that's why, like, you know what I should do? Something like this. So medial is this color, all right, and then lateral is this color. All right, so lateral would be on the outside here. Okay, lateral would be the thumb side. Medial would be, I think this is it, right? Medial would be there. Medial would be the pinky side. Okay, I hope that's making sense. So medial, lateral, right, there we go. So medial towards something closer towards the midline of the body. Lateral is towards the sides of the body. So we could see those different aspects. On that, if you wanted to say the medial aspect of your shoulder, it'd be something like there. If you want to say the lateral aspect of your shoulder, it'd be there, right? Okay, and then we could start to kind of combine these, and we could do that later. Okay, actually. Superficial and deep. So superficial, we're not going to use these much, okay? But superficial is a term pertaining it's closer to the surface of the body, and then deep means it's deeper. Like the most superficial aspect of the body is the skin. The skin is called your integument. Just a little extra credit thing here. Integument. Now the last two terms we're going to learn, pretty sure, are proximal and distal. Okay, so proximal and distal. So these are the extremities only. The extremities, what are the extremities? There's your arms and your legs. You can only use this on your extremities, all right? So proximal means it's closer to where something starts, right, or the origin. And then distal, distance, means it's further from the origin or base of the structure, all right? So let's do this. So extremities. So this is your upper extremity. Okay, this is your lower extremity. Okay, you cannot use proximal or distal on the head or the body. Got it? Can't use it. Okay, so proximal and distal. Okay, so where things start. So if you're going to say, so if this is your forearm, okay, so let's do this. So the most proximal aspect of the upper extremity is up here, right? Most proximal aspect of upper extremity. And then here is most distal, okay, because it's further from. Proximal, closer to the origin, distal, further from, okay. And so we just said that's aspect of, you could also say, like, if you place an X here, that'd be just proximal to your knee because it's just above it, all right? Whew. All right, so there's all the terms. Okay, so let's see if we could do something here. So let's see, so anterior and ventral equals front. Maybe I should type this out. Posterior and dorsal equals back. Medial closer to midline. Lateral closer to sides of body. Superior above, inferior below. Proximal closer to origin. Sorry, I'm not a good speller. Distal. All right, so that's basically it, right? So anterior and ventral equals the front, posterior and dorsal is the back, medial, midline, lateral, closer to the sides of the body, superior above, inferior below, proximal is closer to the origin, and distal is further from the origin. All right, so let's see, where can I place this that it could be out of the way? Maybe right there? All right. So now I'm gonna just do a couple examples, okay? So number one, let's say number one's right here. So number one can be described as being, so we put all this together, so it's on so distal. Let me make this a little bit more specific. So it's on the distal, lateral, anterior aspect of forearm. And this is number one. But see, you could also say that it's just superior and lateral to hand on anterior aspect. So there's multiple ways that you could describe this stuff. I need to move this out the way. Okay, so there's multiple ways to describe this. And I'll let you guys kind of look at that. Let's do a number 2, and we can do it on the posterior aspect. How about right here? Maybe. So number 2, keep doing that. Number 2, would be on the superior, lateral, posterior aspect of lower leg. Or you could say it's just inferior and lateral to the knee on the posterior or dorsal. Okay. All right, so let's just review this. So number 2, we see number 2 here. So you could say it's on the superior because it's above, lateral, posterior aspect of the lower leg. Or you could say it's inferior and lateral to the knee on the dorsal aspect because it's past it. Okay. Now let's not panic. I know this could be a lot to take in. Review it. All right, so on Google Classroom, there'll be a place where you can go to quizzes, and there'll be 2 quizzes for you guys to take. And I want you to go through them at least twice. This will all be on Google Classroom. This is for reintegration of material and review material. And then quizzes is great because it's like flashcards too, so you could use it like that. So take a look at that. I want you to finish that by the end of the day on Thursday. And then on Friday, we're going to actually start to learn some body regions. So this is Moose. This is one of my dogs right now. So he says good luck. I appreciate you guys. I hope this went well for the first time. Good luck, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.